Do you know which days are the strongest?
No.
Saturday and Sunday. The rest are weekdays.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. What's the difference between me and a mosquito?
Oh, I'm scared to ask. You know you're safe when you ask me. What is the difference, honey?
If you smack me, I'm not going to stop sucking.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Oh, I about pulled my headphones off that. Oh my gosh. For everybody that's listening, I do have my emotional support hat on. Oh my gosh.
Yes, you do. Welcome to Appropriately Inappropriate with Tara and Brian. You may know us from Instagram or TikTok, where I horrify Brian with dirty pickup lines. But here on our podcast, you get more of us, including hilarious stories, answering listener questions, whatever y'all send to us. And today, we're actually interviewing a very hilarious comedian, so stay tuned for that. If you have a comment, story, or question, DM us on Instagram or comment. Follow us too at Tara Blairball on Instagram or TikTok, or at Tara.Blairball on YouTube. Our full video episodes will also appear on our YouTube channel. We also offer bonus episodes 3 to 4 times a month for our paid subscribers on Spotify. So, Brian, on our last episode, we let our listeners know that we'd be telling them our worst dating stories. Would you like to start?
Yeah, so anybody that's done any type of dating apps knows that they come with a lot of these type of stories. Probably the worst date I ever had. There was this restaurant in Midtown that I'd never tried that I wanted to go to. It's called Alchemy. And there was this woman that was trying to give me this profile advice on Tinder.
That sounds really familiar, honey.
Oh, wait, no, that's not the, oh, sorry.
Oh, you just married your worst date? Thanks.
No. So everybody's heard of being catfished. I was a victim of that. But this was a little worst case scenario, I think. So I had met somebody and we agreed that we were going to go out, we were going to have dinner. And this particular person lived downtown and she told me, park here. I'll come out of my apartment. I'll meet you here. I was standing on the corner and this person walks up. I see him approach and smile. I have no idea who they are. So I politely nod, just kind of look away. And this person keeps getting closer and closer and closer. And she says, "Hey, Brian, how are you?" It still hasn't occurred to me this is my date for the night. I'm thinking I've met this person somewhere before. And then I'm like, "Oh, great. How have you been?" "Oh, I'm doing good." And then she said, "Are you ready to go get something to eat?" Click. It took me back just because it wasn't even remotely close to any picture that I had seen of this person. So it just started off very awkward and it just kind of snowballed from there. So I finished eating. I politely excused myself. I told her, have a good night. She was disturbed that I was leaving. I went to use the restroom. Before I left, and before I'd even walked out of the restaurant, she was already at the bar picking up on another guy.
So let me get this straight. She had posted pictures of a completely different woman. It was not her like a few years ago. It was a completely different person.
It could have been her a very, very long time ago, but it did not look anything like. I went back and checked the pictures when I got in my truck, thinking, is the mistake on me? It was not even close. Anybody in this situation would have made this mistake.
That's pretty ballsy. Because was she better looking in the pictures than she was in person?
Oh, yeah, considerably.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty, ovary-ish. I don't know. Boob. There's not an equivalent for ballsy that includes female anatomy. I mean, ovary-ish, ovary-y. I don't know. I feel like our listeners need to help us come up with a audacious woman adjective that includes their genitalia.
That's very boobsy.
Boobsy.
Yeah.
But the word boob has a negative connotation, though. Like, if you say someone's a boob, I think it kind of means they're a buffoon.
Oh, yeah, true.
So,
It's very, very.
boobsy is closer and easier than ovary-ish. I don't know. Yeah. It's like, that's a little out of left field. You said that you were not prepared for me when we met.
What do you mean prepared?
You told me I looked better in
You did.
person.
No, so yeah, you kind of were like the reverse catfish. Like when
reverse catfish.
like honestly, it was like your pictures look good, but I
Yeah.
was taken back by how much better. Like I was like, wow, like you looked a lot better in
Mm,
person than you did in
mm.
your picture.
Keep fluffing me up. That's why you get laid on the regular. We fluff me up.
When you first walked in, or when I first saw you, like I looked, and I mean, I think you saw I was taken
Yeah.
back a little bit. Like I grinned and kind of looked down.
Hmm. That is a good situation to have. You want to be better looking than you appear in photos versus worse looking than you appear in photos. You absolutely do.
Yeah, if there's any dating advice that you can give for the apps, for me, it would be just be yourself. I mean, don't try to post pictures when you're in better shape, post recent pictures, because I mean, that happens all the time. You don't want to be that person. Like, if you're really looking for a chance to date somebody and to develop, be yourself. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and I think that's very accurate when it comes to photos. So I dealt with some catfishing, or I don't know what I would call it, but I would meet somebody and they had posted pictures from years ago at a time when they had more hair, had been working out more often. I can recognize this person. They do look like their photos, but clearly these photos are old. So you need recent photos. I'd meet a guy and all of his photos had him wearing a hat, and I didn't realize that he was balding or fully bald, which there's nothing wrong with that. Expectations need to be set reasonably. I have two, I will tell. One was when I was early on the apps. I matched with somebody I actually knew in high school. We graduated from high school the same year. I didn't know him super well. We sort of ran in the same crowds. We had some mutual friends. And I matched with him thinking, like, oh, it might be cool to go on a date with someone that at least I have some knowledge of in the past. So I swiped right on him and then he matched with me. And the first thing he said to me, the first thing, the first message I received from him was, I will eat your ass. I don't even care.
Oh my God. I'm hoping this doesn't lead to a bad dating story. I'm hoping that was pretty much there, done.
Well, then I married him and here
Oh,
he
oh my
is. I'm
God,
just,
honey, Jesus. That was not me. I've never sent that message to anybody. Oh my gosh.
no, that was an immediate unmatch. I mean, here I am. I'm separated. I'm working on being officially divorced. I'm just sort of testing the waters. I've never dated casually in my life, and I have never dated using dating apps. I'm just sort of like exploring, seeing what's out there, what kind of men I can meet. And then that's a message I get, and I immediately unmatch. And I had to sort of take a break from dating apps for a bit. I was like, that's someone I thought would be kind of safe. And that's the first thing they say. You got to ease in with,
Yeah,
I'm going to eat your ass.
it gets real weird fast when you actually know who the person was and they throw that out
Oh,
there. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. But my worst first date was probably a guy who ended up crying. I think a lot of us who've been through divorce can relate to this. It's a very unique experience. I don't know anybody who's had a good divorce. Even couples I know that were pretty amicable still find the divorce process terrible because it's not just a breakup, it's a breakup with lawyers and judges and mediators, all these witnesses to the demise of your relationship. It's so awful and it's dragged out. And at the end of the day, it's just money, it's just
Yeah.
stuff, you know? And mine took 11 months to finalize because it was very contentious for a big chunk of that. So I found that I was going on dates with a lot of people who were also separated or had already been through a divorce. And that would generally be something that would come up on the first date. And there was a guy that I matched with who I had been messaging with him a little bit. And then we set up a date to meet at a little lunch place. I was separated. He was divorced. I knew that about us, but I didn't know much more. And conversation had kind of lagged. So I was like, hey, what happened with your first marriage, if you don't mind sharing? And he immediately told me, you're so easy to talk to. And I just feel like this has been heavy on my heart today. I just really miss my wife and my family. And he started crying, talking about his wife and his family. This date wasn't going anywhere. So I just like sat and listened to him. And I think I patted him maybe on the shoulder a little bit. I was his therapist for that time. That
Were,
relationship was not going anywhere.
were there a bunch of people around kind of witnessing this?
Yeah, he didn't mind that. He wasn't sobbing, but he's just like, I just miss my family. I was his therapist for that date. It didn't go anywhere. I didn't learn until later that I really needed to block everybody who I did not see a future with because people would constantly resurface. It would be very clear that we wouldn't be interested in one another or that they were going to pursue with someone else or I was. But people would constantly resurface, as in they would like send me texts. So he sent me a text like months later. He had screenshotted a woman's dating profile, sent it to me and said, "Hey, I think I really like this woman. I'm finally over my ex. It was so nice talking to you. That was helpful. And I still journal like you suggested." And then he goes, "What do you think of this woman? Do you think she might be a good fit?" And I was like, "Hey, man, I don't know her. You get to decide. Best of luck to you, block." I hope he's doing well. He was really struggling.
If you're listening, we are wishing you the absolute best. There is happiness out there.
So our listeners shared some of their worst dating stories. Here's one. Arrived at a dude's house for a dinner date. As he was cooking dinner, the police knocked down the front door.
Holy cow. Oh my God. Could you imagine?
This next one's bad. I stopped showing interest. He sent a video of himself jerking off, came into his hand, and ate it.
Where was okay.
I guess he thought that was going to get her interested again.
I just want to understand the thought process. Like, who says this is a good idea?
Someone who really needs to go to see a therapist.
He put it out in the world to a person who could then share with everybody. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She goes sent it to his employer. Ballsy.
If you're the guy who did this and you're out listening, yeah, that's not a good idea.
Dude brought his mom on the date because she was lonely.
That's kind of sweet, but I mean,
Is it?
my mom was gone before we met. If I was in that situation, I would have reached out to you first and said, "What do you think?" And if you weren't on board, "Hey, mama, you're going to be sitting home tonight."
Even if you asked me in advance, that would be so awkward.
Yeah,
Unless
but
I already knew her, that would be kind of different if I already knew her. But if it's a date, a capital D date, it should be between you and one other person just to get to know one another.
It would have to be we've been dating for several months. We went out on dates all the time. This just kind of was a special sort of thing.
Yeah. I do feel bad for his mama. She was
Yeah.
feeling lonely, but coming on your son's dates. I have a son that is not ever anything I'm going to be doing. Be like, dude, go on your dates yourself.
You say that now, he's 8.
Shut up. Shut up. I am not going to be my son's wing woman. That's so creepy.
Be ready at 7 tonight.
This next one. Took a girl out and then went to her place to find out she had a boyfriend. He was just at work.
That's awful. Oh, no.
It never feels good to be the other person if you don't know.
But he didn't do anything wrong. Like, he had met somebody, he asked them out, like, he's not at fault. But automatically, I'm sure the boyfriend gets mad at him. If you're the other guy, you can't fault that guy.
Yeah. Next one is had a great date, got to chatting. He asked about fetishes. He liked to dress as a baby with diapers.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we're all different people. I mean, if that's your thing.
Yeah, at least maybe get it out of the way so you can see if this person is on your level. Maybe this other person would be really into that.
I just, like, what happened in the past
Come on.
to get you to that point?
Yeah, I really wonder how, because somebody had to try it first to realize they liked it. So I would wonder, like, what made you buy adult diapers to try that on and get treated like a baby? Like, I don't know. Everybody's got their story.
I guess I could use this as a prank. You come home from somewhere and I'm laying in bed in a diaper with a big old pacifier in my mouth. Honey, I've got a new fetish. Never. I can't even get through it.
You're turning me on.
Oh my gosh, Jesus.
I'll breastfeed you, baby.
Oh, no. Okay, next story, please.
Went on a Bumble date. Girl showed her family picture and turns out I'd met her dad on Grindr ages ago.
All right, when you were saying, like, I was wondering where the weird turn was, because when you said, I met her dad, I'm like, well, that's not Grind. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And I wonder if the dad and mom were still married and if, the mom may have not known, that would be problematic.
Could set up for a weird Christmas or Thanksgiving.
If you have a worst date story, let us know in the comments or DM us on Instagram. We're having a chat with Ty McLaurin. He is the founder of Stumptown Comedy Jam, the hottest show in the greater Charlotte area, and recently headlined the Playoffs Comedy Club in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Glad you're here, Ty.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So my first question for you was, are you partnered, dating?
Not married, no kids. Me and my girlfriend have been together 3 years. We just purchased a home together. So we definitely believe it's a lifelong partnership, and we will be looking forward to marriage in the future.
When I looked you up, my first introduction to you was about your penis. So I was curious how that would be out in the dating world when you're like, oh, hey, I am a comic, and someone's like, I know about his dick now.
I hope that they can appreciate that they're just jokes. A lot of my material that I use on stage is about our relationship and funny things that happen. And my girlfriend is a great sport. My girlfriend's had a long career in film and television, so she understands entertainment. She understands the material I use on stage is just on stage.
Does she have inside jokes with her friends about your penis?
Her friends have definitely been to my shows, so I'm sure they've had to have asked at some point, and she just kind of hides that conversation from me.
So speaking of fans, what is the weirdest thing that's ever happened with one of your fans? Any crazy stories?
Oh, goodness. So I have, and I only do it with right audiences. I have a small abortion bit that I do on stage. I've had a couple of women come up to me after the show and they're like, it's not terribly offensive, but we still don't appreciate it. Well, I had one lady come up to me about a year ago after a show outside of the venue, like telling me, great show, yada. And she goes, I just want you to know that I've had 3 abortions. They were the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I welcome your material and I'm open to it. And I think it's so great. And she was just saying this out loud. And it's the most awkward conversation. Like, what do you say to that? I can't be like, congratulations. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say. Heck, I was like, okay, ma'am, thank you so much. But she's saying it out loud. And it was so awkward. The things people say to you before, after shows, the most awkward experiences, which these aren't that strange or rare, but the most awkward are when they come up to you like, I know one you could use on stage. And I'm like, no, you don't. Not at all.
I bet you that happens a lot.
Brian has a huge gay fan base who have asked me so many questions about like how big his penis is in centimeters or inches and very specific.
He's a big bear. He's a manly man, and that's what they're looking for. Seriously. Like, a lot of gay guys aren't looking for another, like, bottom. They want a man. When I was, like, 26 or 27 on my Facebook, I took a shirtless pic. It was me outside of a concert with a beer, like, shirtless pic, abs and everything. And I had my buddies take it with the right angle in the shadows. And I was like, oh, man, every chick, back home is going to see this, yada, yada, yada. And I remember I posted it, and I went to the concert. And like 4 hours later, I went back onto the post and it was just all gay guys, like all in the comments. Yeah.
That shows you really made it. Like, it's so hot that other guys thought so too.
Right? Yeah, it's truly a compliment when a gay guy says it. Those guys have a particular taste.
Is there like a first joke that you can think of that just went super poorly when you started?
Oh gosh, there's a million of them. I had one that I loved and I wrote it and I was at home and I was like, oh, this shit's gonna be so funny. And I loved it and I was so excited. And the joke, it never got any, I think I told it probably 15 or 20 times. And one guy one night laughed at it and he just wasn't enough. Yeah, but I just kept trying it and I wouldn't give up on it. And my girlfriend was like, this is terrible. And it was so bad. But the joke was, when I was single, I was out here in these streets and I got a lot of action. I was like, my dick got so much respect in these streets, I nicknamed him Urethra Franklin. No one ever laughed at that joke. And I thought it was good. Respect Urethra Franklin. Like, I thought it was great. That joke never made any headway. And I had to scrap it after probably 18 or 20 uses.
Oh my God. You stay committed to it though.
I wanted to give it a chance. I think I was kind of delusional about it. I was like, this shit's going to work. It's going to be funny. And that never happened.
You got your second and third person to laugh, and maybe everybody who listens to the podcast will laugh too.
Maybe it'll revive. Yes.
So our whole thing has been horrifying my husband with pickup lines. So it became a thing, over a year ago. She wanted to film it. Do you have a go-to pickup line that you used back in the day when you were single?
I don't know if I had a go-to pickup line. I'll tell you one thing that I would say because I'm half black, half white. And I make a joke about this too, but I've definitely told a female before I got that black dick and that white credit score. I have said that to a female in a bar before.
But did it work?
No, that was unsuccessful. Yeah. I felt good about it. Never worked. She was like, haha, okay. All right. Nice to meet you. She did not want to confirm those facts.
Where did you meet your girlfriend? You said you've been together 3 years?
No, so actually, when I moved to Charlotte and I was first getting into comedy it was 2022. We met, I worked at an Irish pub at the time, and she came into the bar. I asked for her phone number one time. She said no, but then she kind of kept coming in. And then I invited her to a show, and she said no. Well, then after several times, she finally cracked. You know what I mean?
We met on Tinder.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys really?
Oh, yeah.
We did.
Oh, gosh.
Was it automatic? Saw the profile, click, date, boom.
Oh, no. She was trying to give me advice. She felt bad for me. I had a bad profile. So she was trying to give me advice to help me with other women.
Oh, okay. She was like, you need a better picture, sir. This isn't helping.
So anything else you'd want to leave our listeners with? Maybe where to find you or where your next show is, or...
I am in Salisbury, North Carolina tomorrow night at an Elks Lodge. Probably not for your listeners. But coming up in April, I have a full schedule. I think it's 13 or 14 shows. And that's everywhere from Charlotte, North Carolina to Richmond, Virginia to Ithaca, New York, Endicott, New York. Big schedule in April that I constantly have posted. My Instagram, where you can follow me, is at Ty_McLaurin_jokes. And my YouTube channel, where I do my book reviews, is at Readers Rehab in all caps.
Well, thanks so much, Ty.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for having me on.
Next episode, I will be reading Brian some of his best thirst comments. So if you want to shoot your shot with Brian, go ahead and comment or DM us with those. Make sure to subscribe, download, like, and follow. If you aren't following us on social media yet, we're at Tara Blair Ball on Instagram and TikTok, or at Tara.BlairBell on YouTube. Our full video episodes are also all up on YouTube. We also offer bonus episodes 3 to 4 times a month for our paid subscribers on Spotify. So check out the show notes for that. And if you like this podcast, also make sure to write a review. And until next time, keep it inappropriate.
Happy hump day.